Hello, my name is Dawson Kearns. I'm the Research and Extension Field Crops Entomologist in the northeast region of the state, located here in Winsboro, Louisiana. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the corn leaf hopper, which is a pest until this year we haven't really found in the state since the 80s. It's a leaf hopper insect. It's torpedo shaped and tan in color. It's very small. The adults are about 1/8 of an inch, so they're pretty difficult to see. Their host range is typically they're found yearly in South Texas, and up until recently they haven't really made their way out of that region. But starting in 2024, we started noticing corn leaf hoppers spreading up into Oklahoma and further into the Midwest, and we even found some over in Georgia. So this year we actually found it for the first time, over 20 years in Louisiana. So we found it here actually in Franklin Parish. Now it wasn't in high numbers. We found it on some later planted corn, but it's not the predominant species. I'd say typically we're finding about 5% of the leafhopper population that we're sucking off of corn leaf hopper. The other 95% is a species called blackface leafhopper. And the key distinguishing feature between these two is the corn leaf hopper has 2 large black dots on its face, whereas the blackface leafhopper has 4 small dots. So the way the corn leafhopper causes its damage to the plant, it's not actually just really by its feeding itself, but it's a vector for a complex of diseases that's called corn stunt. And so the symptoms of corn stunt can be quite variable, but some of the key distinguishing features, there's going to be red coloration on the leaves, some stunting of the plant. You'll see irregularities in the ears, such as reduced grain fill and poor pollination. I found some symptomatic plants here in the field. Now, it wasn't very widespread. It was just a few plants here and there, probably from a small population that moved through, so I don't really think it'll have a major impact on yield. But the plants that were affected, I noticed the ears were very small and stunted, and had very poor pollination. So for management of the pest, at this point we're still kind of figuring out what all the options we have available are. Probably the best defense against corn leaf hopper is going to be just planting early. So like I said, these insects don't overwinter here. They really only are able to survive in South Texas, and so every year they got to migrate up here. So if you get your corn planted good and early, you'll probably outrun most of your corn leaf hopper population. Typically, the most vulnerable stage of the plant is going to be the vegetative stages from emergence to about V8. After that point, you're less threat of corn stunt. For insecticide options, we found that Steward, Lanate, Transform, and Savanto all have some activity on them, but what we don't know is how effective they are at preventing transmission of corn stunt. There's also seed treatment options that have shown to have efficacy against corn leaf hopper. They've provided in some trials about a 50% reduction in the adult population, but I'm pretty skeptical that those are going to prevent transmission. I think that there's a chance that we might see a reduction in the population, but they're still able to feed and transmit that disease to the plant. So we found that the best method to sample for corn leaf hopper in your vegetative corn is actually using a vacuum, because sweep nets just don't work quite as well. And so we found this leaf vacuum that you can buy just at your chain grocery store. We put a black stocking over the top to collect the insects in, and we found that if you just go down the rows and suck down the whorl of the plants, you can collect the adults pretty easily. It's quite efficient and pretty straightforward. After you're done sucking, I typically do in 25 plant batches. You remove the stocking and you can count how many adults you get. Yeah, the threshold at this point is really just one leaf hopper. One leaf hopper can do quite a bit of feeding, and it can cause a fair amount of damage if it moves throughout the field. We're still trying to do more work to kind of figure out what a good threshold would be. So at this point, the corn leaf hopper is still rare in the state. We haven't really seen many instances of a major infestation that's actually yield limiting. So I wouldn't recommend any changes to management practices in anticipation of the pest emerging. So at this point, we're kind of just monitoring at this point, and perhaps in the future it could grow into a larger threat. But right now it's really a minor issue.